So what we have here is an animal cell. And then if we label this, this is your cytoplasm, which contains all the organelles of the cell. So it's just responsible for keeping all the organelles together inside the cell. Then we have what we call a ribosome, which is important in the process of protein synthesis. Then we have what we call a mitochondrion that is important in releasing energy. And then we have a nucleus, which consists of your nucleolus, your nucleosomes, your chromatins, and also has a DNA. So it's responsible for containing the DNA, which the main function of the nucleus is to control the cell growth and reproduction. Then we have what we call an endoplasmic reticulum. So this one is the rough endo. So it's rough endoplasmic reticulum. So this one is responsible for the protein synthesis. So if you notice, it has some ribosomes attached to it. Sorry, it has some ribosomes attached to it, which we know that ribosomes are important in protein synthesis. So for the mere fact that they have ribosomes attached to it, they are responsible for protein synthesis. And then here we have our endoplasmic reticulum. So this one here, it's the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Its main function is the synthesis of lipids, the production and secretion of steroid hormones, and the metabolism of carbon dioxide. And then we have a Golgi apparatus, which is important in the manufacturing, storing, packing, and transportation of particles throughout the cell. Then we have a centroid, which its main function is to produce cilia during interphase, to also produce aster and spindle fibers during the cell division. Then lastly, we have what we call a cell membrane. So a cell membrane is just important in controlling what comes in and outside of the cell. So there you have it. This is your animal cell. So now the only difference between an animal cell and a plant cell, because this is an animal cell, a plant cell has a cell wall. So a cell wall is just outside here of a plant cell. So this cell wall is just responsible for containing everything that is inside the cell, and it also has a chloroplast, which is responsible in the process of photosynthesis, using sunlight to produce food. and it also contains a vacuole. So just note that also animal cells have vacuoles, it's just that they are really small. But for plant cells, they have big vacuoles. Like if I were to draw, let's say this is a plant cell, a vacuole will be this big. So it's responsible for giving the shape for the plant and also store more water for the plant to produce food. And it also has some other organelles, but these are the main organelles that you need to know, which are found in plant cells. Then the rest, which are mitochondria, your cytoplasm, they are also there in a plant cell. So the main important thing here was for us to know the cell structure of plants and animals in order for us to go deeper into the DNA, which is the code of life. Now that we've known the cell structure of animals and plants, I'm sure you're wondering what type of cells exist in my body as an animal, if you consider yourself an animal, or as a human being, and what type of cells exist in a plant cell. So now we're going to look at that. So the animal cell type, one of them is stem cells, red blood cells, nerve cells, we have intestinal cells, muscle cells. So there's more, but I just decided to give you guys just a few. And looking at plant cells, plant cell type, one of them is collenchyma. So it's collenchyma, sorry, or collenchyma, or however you pronounce it. And we have sclerenchyma, we have parenchyma, we have xylem, and effluent. So these are some of the cell types that exist both in animals and these ones in plants. So what you need to know also is that both animals and plant cells are considered eukaryotes or eukaryotic. Eukaryotic. So what this means is they contain a nucleus in them. And some of the examples, because it's not just animals and plants, we also have fungi, which are also eukaryotic. We have a protist, which are also eukaryotic. Let me just write animal cells and plant cells. And we also know some which are prokaryotic. So they do not contain nucleus or a true nucleus. So one of those are your bacteria, and another one is your archaea. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, suggestions, or comments, please write them in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos.